And it should be streaming. We're gonna wait for this to pop up. But it says starting stream. All right. So we're starting it. We're starting a stream. Hey Noah, what's
Hey,
up?
John.
We're on.
Not too
We're
much.
doing
How's
a
it going?
stream. Hold on. And
Yeah.
I'm seeing this unsupported resolution. I'm gonna go figure out what that's supposed to mean. Uh, but
All right.
people
I'm
can
gonna
people can
stop
figure it out.
editing now.
Please do. Uh,
But I'm in the zone.
That looks like it's working. Hey, people in the chat, if you exist, and in the Discord, if there's anyone in the Discord, we'll be taking
Uh,
questions from both.
do you have a link for me that I can throw up in the, or oh no, we already threw it up in the Discord, eh?
Yes, for
Yes.
the live stream.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yep.
actually it's just it's something like it's youtube.com/c/horns and wings/live, which I didn't know was a thing. That is
Yeah.
just that's super convenient.
I see people, a person in the
Oh,
chat.
hey,
Maybe
yeah.
people.
All right, people in
Yeah.
the chat, do you see a video? Which I don't know how long the delay is. We'll find out. But yeah, hey, we figured technology out. I'm proud of us. I'm gonna call it a day now.
Good for us.
We
Good
succeeded.
for us.
Oh, now see the beauty of live stream. We get all that good Noah noise without
Oh yeah.
without the
Oh yeah.
cuts.
I make a
Everyone,
lot of noise. You guys are
oh
about
my
to
gosh,
learn that.
it is constant typing. All right, well, we see Daryl Hart. We see Cosmic Nerd Studios. We see SPTV. Hat Eating Cthulhu
Hat
Goat.
eating Cthulhu goat. Yeah, the
Canton
crew's
Hansen.
all coming in here.
Yeah. Sup. That's my new catchphrase. Well, go ahead and if anyone has questions, feel free to start throwing those in there. But Noah, let's catch up as if that's not what we were just doing for the last 15 minutes. How are you? How you feeling?
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I'm starting to get healthy. As I was telling John, I was sick last week. Very sick, but I'm on the mend now. I'm just working on a new video that is going to be released so far in the future that I'm not allowed to tell you guys about it
Oh my
yet.
gosh.
I just finished another video that's going to be released so far in the future that I can't tell you guys about it. This video is going to be released. The one I'm working on now is going to be released October 24th, I think. So,
Oh,
you know.
spooky.
Yeah, no, that's not my Halloween one. My Halloween one comes out on October 31st.
Oh, I should do a Halloween video. What should I do? You know what? I was thinking of doing one for it, but I was kind of lukewarm on the second one.
I
But
haven't seen any It's yet.
oh, maybe I'll do a Pets Cop is a good one too.
I'll give a spoiler. My Halloween video is going to be about I Put a Spell on You.
Oh, nice. Specifically the cover in Hocus Pocus from Bette Midler.
Specifically the cover in 50 Shades Freed by Annie Lennox. I don't know which 50 Shades, but I know it's in a 50 Shades.
Oh God, of course I would be in one of those. Hey, Megan.
But yeah, no, about
go
the
ahead.
original and all the.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that. That's a good song. I love the CCR one is a go-to
CCR
Halloween
is good.
playlist.
The Nina Simone cover is probably my favorite cover, but Screamin' Jay Hawkins original is my favorite. Screamin' Jay Hawkins fucks.
You know what? I like.
By the way, there's gonna be adult language on this stream.
Oh,
this stream, you guys should.
Yeah.
You guys should be aware.
We should. We should. First say I put it in the info and all that, but don't spoil anything in the chat. I'm telling. I told Noah I'm gonna handle the chat because I don't want some joker to come in here, and because he's still a couple issues. What, like 2 specifically, or how many issues behind are you right now?
Yeah, 2 or 3. No, actually, I think 4. I think the last one I read was the 50th issue. So yeah.
So yeah, please no one, because I really want that sincere reaction from him to what goes down. Because you might not be a fan of Saga. after you read those. I'm excited to see if you just like don't want to do this podcast anymore.
I'm gonna buy the omnibus soon, so I think I'm gonna read it. Or the not the what's the fucking the big one that I have, the
Oh
first
yeah,
two of.
yeah,
Are they
yeah.
omnibuy?
Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's omnibuy though. It has to be. What does it have to? It has to be Latin for it to be omnibus. Sounds the
Omnibuses?
most Latin word in
Yeah,
history.
yeah, no, omnibus is
Yeah,
definitely Latin.
but they didn't have
We get
buses back then, Noah. Doesn't make any sense. Here I'm gonna catch up with the stream a bit. So Hat Eating Cthulhu Goat asks, "Are you gonna upload the stream somewhere? Because I have to go to sleep like 2 hours ago. It should. I will upload it immediately onto the YouTube channel. Or I might wait. No, it'll be pretty immediate. That's gonna be live on the YouTube channel. So get some sleep. And we got oh, this is a good one. Anton Hansen says, "Hey guys, I have made a Spotify playlist of all the songs you guys recommended on the podcast, but
Oh,
I
cool.
don't know how to make it so that everyone can find it. What do I do?" So there's definitely a tool on Spotify that makes it like a public
You can make it
playlist.
public. Yeah, yeah. And also you can give it to send a link to us. We'll put it on our Twitter.
Yeah. If you wanna tweet a link at us or hop into the Discord if you have Discord and drop it in there. Uh,
And
and
thanks for that. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm pumped to hear what nonsense that is. That has to be one of the
Oh
worst
yeah,
playlists.
it's gonna be all over the map.
Hold on. If I'm right about if my memory serves me, the first song on this playlist should be "Big Balls" by AC/DC. So it should be a classic immediately. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's gonna be some juxtapositions. Oh hey, speaking of big balls, Fard is on the screen now.
Hey, there we go. Oh, I loved that. Was fun learning how to do rain and trying to make it look like the rain already in the panel, and then that lightning. I did all that. That was hard to do.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty impressive. All right, I see how this stream's gonna go. Oh man, let me check the
This
Discord.
I think it's worth announcing. It's worth saying that we've secured our first guest for the show in this coming arc.
Oh yeah. Do we want to say who the guest is?
Maybe we should tease but not say. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
What do
What's
you
a
think?
good tease for that?
Um.
Huh.
So he's coming for issue 17,
17.
and it is a YouTuber, a fellow YouTuber, known for striped shirts.
Oh. Well, we got that exclusive. It's Waldo. We figured it out.
It is Waldo. Yep. You got it right there.
Cosmic Nerd Studio says, "Oh dang, this show has guests. I'm hyped now." Yeah.
We're gonna try to bring in more guests as we go.
Cosmic Nerd Studios asks, "Patrick Willems?" I guess
Maybe.
I guess he has
Who knows?
striped shirts occasionally. So let's see. This was my first thought. And is Hat Eating Cthulhu Goat says, and who knows, I might be biased. Ask Breadsword, who I also know.
Who's Breadsword?
Breadsword's another video essayist. He got big originally with a really good video he did on Treasure Planet, the Disney animated film.
Oh yeah. I think
great.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, Breadsword's fantastic. Which both people I would love to have on the show at some point, so we will see. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. Cosmic Nerd Studio says, "If you ever need guests, I assure you I have very much no knowledge about Saga." So you're right there with us. This is a learning experience for everyone.
This live stream is a learning experience.
And then Basify Faceify. Boy, that took a lot out of me to say. Pacify. Asks the Hamburglar, and I cannot answer. I'm not gonna tip my hand one way or the other. Tip my hat. I don't know what the phrase is. Hey, what? Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is this is my pitch to you on the air. I do want to bring in someone at some point that has never read Saga and just jumps in at a
and
random issue.
and just drop them in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
about that. I'm about that.
Because you're supposedly supposed to be able to do that. Probably not with Saga. I discourage it with Saga. But there,
I legitimately actually kind of would love to erase my mind of Saga and just jump into the middle of like jump in at issue 24 or something and see if I can figure out what the
yeah.
hell is going on.
Well, no joke. If I remember correctly, uh, the issue 25, the anniversary one, has like a short summary at the beginning for people
Oh
just
yeah, that's
jumping in.
true. That is true.
But I will also say, I believe it was issue 52 or something, or like 47 or something, that that started that was given out on Free Comic Book Day, and it makes no attempt at catching people up, and it is the most hilariously, like, you are just immediately throwing you into the deep end with the most amazing opening splash ever, like the most Saga ass opening splash ever. And so I'm happy to get to that one. But we're so far away from that. But yeah, I do want to get, that would be really fun, specifically for issue 25 probably. Just
Yeah, that'd be a ton of fun. Yeah.
get someone to see what that experience is of just starting it, and that should be a lot easier to get a guest for, just because we've kind of been figuring out who our Saga friends are to get
Yeah,
guests.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Venchar asks, "Oh shit, am I late?" And that was flagged. That was a flagged comment, but I'll allow
Yeah,
it.
because it said shit. You're not
Oh my
allowed to say
gosh,
shit.
there's no shit on this stream. We've
This
never
is a
said shit on this show.
this is a goddamn family show.
uh,
Fun
Megan.
fact,
Mhm.
I was raised not religious at all and didn't know that some people thought goddamn was a swear word. I thought it was what you said instead of swearing.
And damn, yeah, damn's a pretty. That's like one of the ones. You know, I've always been confused about like swearing in. Did you ever notice when they censor stuff on TV for the longest time? If someone said asshole, it would bleep out the hole as if that was
Yes, I
the
know the
graphic
reason
part.
behind that actually.
I bet you know if
Because
anyone does, it would be you. Hmm.
because when you just say ass, it could mean like a donkey, but asshole is specifically referencing your poop chute.
But at that point, get rid of the thing that's the most.
These censoring people, they don't make a lot of sense. Don't assume logic here.
That's like censoring the ing in fucking, and I approve of it, actually. Keep doing that. So hey, here's a question for Noah here. Doug Sampson asks, do you support Greater Finland?
Do I support Greater Finland?
Yeah,
Well, the thing is,
types
I'm
first.
Estonian,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not actually a huge fan of Greater Finland, seeing as I support Estonian independence.
All right. Well, I like, what I like about this live stream is I can just see in real time the people dropping off and fucking shit. So yeah, I'm gonna take the opposite position on that one. So
So you're about a colonial power colonizing my people is what you're telling me.
AKA American. So wait, hold on. You're Canadian. That's not much better. Uh, so where do we? Krista Stevens has hopped into the chat. Hello, Krista. Uh, and Venchar apologizes for saying shit. You should be sorry. Daryl Hart, if Saga was erased from existence and the two of you only remembered it, could you recreate it? So we're in a yesterday
Oh,
situation.
oh, oh, yeah. No, we're in a Be Kind Rewind situation.
Is that the plot of that movie? Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah,
so fun. It's
it's
actually like so fun. Like they remake like The Lion King and shit like that.
yeah. Now hold on, I assumed it was just their VHSs got. Is it like a
Oh
nationwide thing,
no.
or it's just
No,
their
no, no.
VHSs
Like
got?
they accidentally erased all of the VHSs in their store.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Michelle.
It's actually a really yeah, it's a really fun movie. But I
Most Def and
mean,
Jack
I would
Black. You can't go wrong with that. That's a
and
fantastic.
Michelle Gondry.
Yeah.
It's a good setup. I think we would be able to recreate it probably perfectly, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with me on the art and you
So
on
so 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 where do we start? We start with am I shitting?
yeah, yeah.
Um it's a close up on Alana.
Mm-hmm.
We pull out says it feels like I'm shitting.
The
Um
the pull out was 9 months early. It's actually the opposite of that. Uh,
uh
yeah, there's a fetus. Throw a fetus in there, or I guess not a fetus anymore. It's a baby. It's a
I
newborn.
think I think if we remade Saga, it would somehow be more erotic.
It would be purely erotic. Uh, here's a question: if in that situation, would you try to faithfully recreate it, or would you change it in some way, just
There's
out of
nothing
like?
I would change about this.
I'm trying to. Well, here's the thing:
I
it's
know I
already
know
perfect
you
in
would
my
have
mind.
more hardcore scenes with the stock because we know your weird thing with her, but
Can there be more hardcore scenes with the stock? Yes, there can. Uh, yeah, no, that's what that would be. That would be like, I. That's one of those things where I feel like we would try and then make a really bad comic because
yeah. Yeah.
the more I analyze this book, the more I realize like there is so much brilliance, but it is such a like just walking this perfect line of every choice they make and every like tiny little decision that plays into how good it is and all the tiny invisible things that we still haven't even discovered yet we've seen it a million times. It would be nearly impossible. But you know what? Let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's make Saga, Noah.
I mean, I do think eventually on a long enough timeline, if neither of us die, we are eventually probably going to make a comic together, aren't we?
Oh, probably. That's the I thought you were gonna say we will eventually make Saga. I was like, is this a
no.
like
No,
two
no, no.
chimps with a
Oh yeah, yeah.
typewriter situation?
Yeah. In an infinite amount of time, we could actually and I think we would actually make Saga, I think.
Ooh, we have some good questions coming in.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
you know,
questions
here's the
coming. Okay.
announcement that Noah and I will we'll make a comic at some point. That'd be super fun. Um, so Venchar wants to know, do y'all have a favorite arc of Saga? And this is a tricky one. And again, we will
I
avoid spoilers.
I think the arc we just reread might be my favorite. Like the
It's
amount
very
of
good.
stuff that happens in that and it is so tense and you're just thrown into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um I love the arc where yeah, I mean, okay, so mild spoilers coming, but I love the rescuing Hazel arc.
Mm-hmm. No, that was gonna be my choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
there's an
I think
issue in that one where because that was actually I'm sure I'll talk about this more and again no spoilers before then, but I was actually getting to the point where I was like, oh, this is getting to be too much for me emotionally,
yeah.
and this is becoming a little draining. And then in that arc, there is an issue that is just such a like Indiana Jones cold open,
Yeah.
like it's just super fun scene
Yeah.
and so satisfying.
Yeah,
And yeah, I love it.
I agree. It kind of we get some arcs that I really love that are kind of I mean, if you guys haven't read, you're in for a tweet for like kind of unexpected things because there's some like
Yeah.
there's a pretty low key arc and some pretty like kind of heartbreaking emotional drama arcs,
Hmm.
and then that arc jumps you back into the action, and it is so welcome at that time. Like you need that kind of adventure and fun again.
Uh, by the way, yeah, exactly. And by the way, we just got that in the Discord. We just got that Spotify playlist link. So I'll tweet
Oh,
that out.
cool.
I'll post it places. I'll probably add a link to it, maybe in the description of this very video once it goes lives. Live stream. Good at talking. What other questions we got here? Um, uh, here's the most saga relevant question so far. Cosmic Nerd Studios asks, would you rather have fingers the size of legs or legs the size of fingers?
Definitely fingers the size of legs.
That's a
You
superpower.
could yeah, you could fight crime.
Yeah.
You could be finger man.
Oh, I mean, I was in college. That's what they called me. But uh, I like how Sassafras has joined the chat and with an "Hey, I'm lying here." That is the that is the
Hey,
go-to
I'm
response.
lying here.
God, I am I am so sad that's lasted as long as it has. And ecstatic about it. Magic Bra coming in with the deep questions here, but literally, do you guys like hardcore sex? With just a
Mhm.
flurry of question marks and exclamation points.
I do not like sex at all. I detest it. It is vile. Just kidding. Um, I only like softcore sex.
Just in real life, no one could see your penis.
Exactly. I like PG-13 sex.
There's always a conveniently placed vase somewhere
Yeah,
to hide any nasty bits.
and
Uh,
L-shaped sheets.
so yeah, you know what? Hey, I'm on board for it. Which actually, you know, this is two words: hardcore sex. So I think it involves like crunches, which I'm all about. Maybe some bicycle kicks. I'm down for that. Uh, oh, Had Eating Cthulhu Goat asks, what would our comic be about? No, let's come up with a really bad idea. Um,
Okay,
and
because I have like
because I don't
20
want to.
good ideas.
Oh yeah, no, I have literally just lists and lists of comics that I need to make. So let's throw a bad one out there, and
All right,
maybe make it good.
let's do some improv here. Let's get a prompt. Get
Yeah, hey, if someone could give us a prop and a location, we will make a comic out of
and
it.
and a profession.
Profession. Oh boy. Uh, and Sassafras asks, boy, that's hard to say. Regarding BKV, do you prefer Saga, Paper Girls, or Why the Last Man?
So my BKV, if that's what we're is that what we're calling him now? Um
Yeah.
of- my ranking of the stuff that he's done that I have read would be Saga would be number 1, Paper Girls would be number 2, then probably Last Man, Ex Machina, Runaways. Uh and there's kind of this clump, all of that stuff, Private Eye,
Hmm.
Barrier, all of those are kind of, I would say, in the same amount. And then We Stand on Guard would be a strong last place finish. I
uh,
still haven't read Pride of Baghdad.
yeah, no, I haven't done that one either. You know what? I'm a huge fan of Ex Machina, and I think that's one of the ones that and Runaways I think have aged probably the worst of his stuff. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Y. Well, Y is like perpetually relevant because it's about sexism. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm a massive fan of Ex Machina, and I love the world of that. But that's not one of my options. Actually, Paper Girls is one that I feel like I'm slightly more lukewarm on it than most people. In that I absolutely love it, but I wouldn't put it in the same category as Saga, and I know a lot of
Well,
people do.
I would put it a category down from Saga. There are
Hmm.
like one maybe comics that I would put in the category of Saga, and that's
Hmm.
Sandman maybe,
Right.
and maybe not even like we've said before, like I put Saga in the same category as like Lord of the Rings or
Yeah.
like for me like Ocean at the End of the Lane or things like that. Like I
Hmm.
consider it one of
Ocean's
the greatest
8
things ever
also.
written.
Uh,
Uh so,
yeah.
but Paper Girls, I remember Paper Girls. Paper Girls, I think, is the closest I've come post Saga to reading a comic that I just could not put down like Saga.
Right. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Honestly, I think the thing that makes me just like a little bit lukewarm on it was that the fact that if that had come out before Saga, then in my mind it probably would be even higher. But it's the fact that like Saga is such a response from Brian K. Vaughan to any criticism he's ever had. um it like just being like, oh, he has a crutch of like cultural references and stuff. He's like, screw you. I'll still refer to ATMs, but otherwise I'll just build a whole world to reference. And like it is just it's him just like totally nailing, like it's not super dialogue heavy, and it's not like super hard to read or anything, and it's not at all dense. It's just such a great book, and it deals with so many issues that like were minor annoyances for me and major criticisms for other people with his work. And so to see him take that step back towards it's not even necessarily a step back, but just to see him take that step towards like a more cultural reference heavy stuff and stuff like
Well,
that
well
is a little hard for
I
me.
think it's interesting because Paper Girls is almost like it's almost aggressively in the other direction. Paper Girls is entirely cultural references, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that's the crux of it, and it is like it is. I think Saga is him proving that he doesn't need it, and Paper Girls is him is like perfecting it. Like it is so
Yeah.
ingrained into what that book is in such a
Paper
satisfying way.
Paper Girls is like not in context, but in kind of like execution. It's like the comic version of a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like
Hmm.
it's just so packed with references.
Yeah, yeah. We have what is the hardest question? What we will get from Ben Spencer. Would you rather your own lion cat or have Goose as a roommate?
Goose.
Goose as a
Goose 10
roommate?
times out of 10. I already have Goose as a roommate because I have a little Goose plush and I can confirm it is the best. Goose is awesome. I would like a lion cat. Lion cat will be more practical, but you could like you're coming home from a bad day, you can just pound back a couple brews with Goose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Here's the thing. This is because I can Goose as a friend is rad, and Goose as a roommate is rad. But I've had roommates, I've had friends. I've never gotten to have a sidekick. And I've if there's one thing I've always wanted, it is an animal sidekick. Ever since I was a kid, I this is the most obscure reference I could possibly make, but there was an animated television version of or like spin-off of the second Brendan Fraser mummy movie. and and it was like centered largely around their son, and their son had a ferret that would like hang out with them. It was like the smart ferret. It's sort of like Little Nemo's flying squirrel and stuff like that. And just every time I see like a character like that, it's just like I so desperately want just that friendship in my life.
You just want a sentient animal pal.
Yes, like every they're literally as an adult, I could be walking down the street and see a squirrel, and I just would think to myself, what I would not give for that squirrel to just hop on my shoulder and then we just be best friends forever.
Uh,
I just want a good
Do you
best friend
do you
animal.
do you play a ranger a lot in D&D?
No, because it's too tantalizing and I'm just so sad. I'm getting too close. I'm flying too close to the sun, and my heart can't take it. Uh, so Cosmic Nerd Studio says when I heard the
That
lion here, I was hoping for lion puns. I don't know how we have not made that reference, but that is part of my last name.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. Never really clicked to me.
Venchar wants an AM Lion here shirt. No,
Me too.
no. I'm not doing that to the world. I will absolutely. We need to get an "Am I shitting" shirt out there ASAP. Uh,
I gotta Photoshop like a newsy hat onto Lion Cat. Hey, I'm lying here.
that counts as the significant change to the art, right? To be able to get
Yeah,
around
that's
copyright.
transformative, right? Yeah. It's parody. It's parody, John.
Stupidity is transformative, right? I made this good thing bad. That is inherently transformative. This is a good one, and I'm absolutely going to steal this for one of our questions of the week from Sassafras. What race or origin would you be in Saga?
Ooh, can I be a time suck?
You already are.
Hey, I might
I'm down
be
for that.
I
There are some
might
good ones we
be
haven't seen yet, too,
I'm
which are
trying to
tempting.
think. I mean, I might I might be a like I don't know if this counts as a race or origin really, but I feel like it would be a cool job being a freelancer. You
Yeah.
get to like fly around the galaxy, you get a sidekick.
Oh,
You
now
only
you
need
take
to
the
kill
sidekick.
people sometimes.
You only need to kill people anytime you're doing your job. Yeah, no, it's that's the first thing that popped in my mind is like, how can I be the will, but also like that's morally awful, but still I want, if I'm in Saga World, everything's morally awful. Uh, and you know what?
I feel like also this is something that this is a little spoilery, but it won't really say much. Whatever species what's her name? Yuma is
Oh yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The
that feels like it
grass.
feels like that would be a cool species to be cuz like can she like photosynthesize? I would love to be able to photosynthesize cuz I don't want to have to figure out what I want for dinner every day.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, here's the thing: is I'd have to go out in the sun at any point. I would. My answer to that question is I'd be the whatever is under that T-Rex suit with the dildo on it on Sextillion. Uh, hey, would you rather
Oh yeah,
have?
there's a lot of species on Sextillion that'd be fun to be.
Oh yeah. Would you rather have horns or wings, and why?
Wings. I mean, horns are cool, but you can fly with wings. Like,
You know what? I'm gonna go with horns, and I'm gonna have the best Hellboy cosplay ever. It's gonna be rad.
um, you're gonna need to cut off your horns for that.
You know, I'll let you take this one. What is We Stand on Guard about? Asks Anton Hansen. I don't know how I say it. It's
Um,
Anton. It's not Anton. Is it worth checking out at
so
all?
uh, it's not as bad as I say. It's fun, I guess. But it's about a apocalyptic or I guess dystopian future where the United States has taken over Canada with giant mechas and there's a Canadian resistance force. If you're not Canadian, you'll probably enjoy it. If you're Canadian, you might, but it just like I don't know, it feels kind of like a lot of things, a lot of media and movies and stuff do this too, have this almost like gimmicky tokenized version of Canada. And it's kind of a bit of that, which I'm like, I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of joke with what's the Seth Rogen and tokenized. because he's always
Oh, yeah, toking.
smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pot.
Yeah, like
Weed.
Seth Rogen. I
Someone,
mean, Seth Rogen is Canadian,
people in the
but
chat, could you go ahead and make that joke for me? If you could
yeah,
construct that joke, and I will act as if it is my own. There's a
it's
lot
kind
of
of like
spicy
Kevin Smith
takes.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I was the target demo for We Stand on Guard because that was right when I started like living in Toronto and dating my now wife who is from
You say
Canada.
Toronto like an American.
Well, you know what? I'm not. Here's the thing: is I get so annoyed
It's called
now with
it's called Toronto.
I
Trana
know
is okay too.
I've been far away for so long. And also, I'm always so angry when I talk about Toronto that I gotta get that hard T in there to really just it's
How do you pronounce the biggest city in Quebec?
uh oh, you mean Montreal?
No, but like actually, how do you pronounce it? Americans have a way of pronouncing it that I hate.
Montreal.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way. Montreal.
How do you say it?
Montreal.
I okay, is it just the Mun?
Yeah, it's the Mun versus the Mon. And
Okay.
the stress
The
the
Mun
stress is
v
different too.
Mon. Dawn of
Montreal.
Justice. We got some spicy takes in here about Paper Girls. Some people, someone says it's a better looking comic than Saga.
Ooh.
So people are saying it's tied. Some people have not read it yet. Yeah, I get that. Sassafras says
It's
Paper Girls was great, but bloody hard to follow. Which it's a bit of a like plot mystery that you start to piece things together, but you don't necessarily know that you're supposed to be piecing things together. I think in a lot of
yeah.
early Paper Girl stuff, but it definitely
I
it makes
I
sense by
mean
the end of it.
I'm also just I love time travel stuff, so I'm kind of predisposed to liking it, and time travel stuff generally is kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And then it's always like the whatever, like the roles change for every one of those stories. Uh, what other questions we got? I'm getting a little behind on chat here. That's interesting. Venchar says it's rare to see representations of teenage girls, especially LGBT or girls of color, that are spot on, especially ones that are written by men. That adds up.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
Uh,
it's always nice to hear that people feel that because I often with like Brian K. Vaughan's writing and with lots of things I love like feel like these are well-written characters, but I've also never been a teenage girl, so I can't really say. So it's nice to get kind of
yeah.
confirmation from somebody that is that demographic.
Uh, I'm gonna say so. Uh, Magic Bra asks, Polyphonic, I enjoyed your video, The Devil in Music. Can you make a video just explaining the devil in history?
No, probably
Just
not.
no, but like, well, I will say, God already made a book about it. You want to read that one, Magic Bra?
John Milton's book about it is way more interesting.
Is that who wrote the Bible? Um,
That basically.
uh, let's see. How come there's no super chat? I would love to give you guys money. Adam Groves, we appreciate it. We're not monetized on this channel. I think we're just about to hit 400 or something. You need 1,000 and a billion hours. We should get the hours watched pretty easily because we're uploading an hour-long video every week. But also, I don't know. There's unless you especially care about it enough, I feel like we are probably better off just not monetizing this channel at any point.
If you want to give us money, subscribe to one of our Patreons.
Yeah. Mine.
Like
So go ahead and check out
yeah,
the
John needs it more,
Polyphonic.
so.
Go check out the Polyphonic Patreon at patreon.com/makestuffstudios. He's doing great work on there.
I'm legit
Constantly uploading.
I'm legit gonna say, yeah, if you want to support one of us, your money is better spent on John's Patreon because you get way more benefits than my Patreon.
This is true. Uh, so yeah, let's
If
see.
you want benefits, you could also subscribe to Nebula, my streaming service. But this isn't. We're not here for plugs.
Uh, y'all do check out Nebula, like for sure. It is. I enjoy that subscription so much good stuff on there, and also polyphonic stuff on there too, I guess. Um,
And actually,
so
if you're already on Nebula, watch my videos on there instead of YouTube. It's better. It supports
mhm.
me better that way because
And
the
you get
money
those
goes
OG
more to me.
versions. You get
Yeah,
those
yeah.
non-ruined by having to cut stuff out to avoid getting flagged versions.
This week's video, it took me 6 iterations to get one that wasn't blocked worldwide.
Jesus.
Yeah, I ended up needing to replace a lot of the studio versions with live versions. It's a
That's
mess.
ugh.
Anyways, back to the
Uh,
questions or comments.
says, "Thanks for introducing me to Saga. It's so great, and it's my favorite comic now." Awesome.
Oh,
Perfect. We done
thanks
it.
thanks for diving in with us.
I should point
I'm
out, is not the one who we said if we can get them reading Saga, we quit the show.
no, no, not
That
yet.
person's
Not
still at
yet.
large. Also, they have a question. What works of fiction with a similar vibe of life meeting fantastical thing do you recommend?
Um I mean a lot of Neil Gaiman stuff
Oh, yeah.
does a
Yeah.
good job of kind of smashing together the ordinary and extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I will recommend for the billionth trillionth time The Ocean at the End of the Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I would also say if you like superheroes, read Black Hammer by Jeff Lemire. It is phenomenal and it's kind of like a superhero story smashed together with just like a small family drama.
Mm-hmm.
Um
It's
but
good. I love that book.
which one?
Black Hammer. So
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah. Have you read the latest volume?
No, I is
Oh,
broke.
it's fun.
Uh,
There's some I'll mail my copy to you and you can mail it back when you're done.
all right. I'm sure my library has a super good selection. That's where I've been going on. I've been on a bit of a Jeff Lemire phase.
The comic the comic references in it are dialed up to the next fucking
Oh,
level.
nice.
There's a
Um,
Sweet Tooth reference in it, which is hilarious.
oh, that's rad. Yeah, also read Sweet Tooth. That's not necessarily life meeting fantastical thing, but it
Yeah,
is.
I'm trying to think more in the like traditional fantasy
I'm gonna say, you know what?
setting.
I'm gonna say, it's not necessarily fantasy, but it is fantastical. I'm gonna say for the season we are now entering, check out What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire mockumentary by
Oh yeah, yeah.
Taika Waititi. It is so fun, and I just checked out the first episode of the TV version of it, and it is just as good. I enjoy it a lot. So if you want something
There's
a little
also
lighter,
there's also this comic that tonally it's very kind of dark fantasy esque in the old west. What's it called again? I think it's by Kelly Sue DeConnick.
it's called
I'm setting you up here.
Beautiful. It's called Beautiful Lethal, and it
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
great trailer. Go check out Pretty Deadly. It's good.
yeah.
That classic slice of life meets fantasy.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really have the slice of life as much, but there are aspects of it that I would say are saga esque.
No, yeah, then there's definitely that like fairy tale quality that I absolutely love. Uh, and also, what do we got? Cosmic Nerd Studios. You and the Stock are having a baby. What do you name it? What do you name your baby?
Ooh, um, um, I'm blanking. Jim.
Okay, that's the correct answer. Actually, I'm gonna go with Finger Man Junior.
Wait, 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 wait,
Oh shit.
wait. If I'm having a baby with the stock,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be like a spider baby, right? So I should probably name it either Miles Morales or Peter Parker.
Okay. I mean, if I'm having a baby with the stock, it's gonna be Spider Ham. Am I right? Oh gosh, I'm getting so behind on this. Hey, what else? Uh, we have people are just swapping comic suggestions, which I appreciate. Um,
Oh, awesome.
And did you guys read The Walking Dead?
Oh,
What
oh,
did you think of
also
the sudden
also
ending,
read
Sassafras?
read Fables.
Oh
If you're
yeah.
if
Oh
you're looking
yeah.
for like real
Oh yeah.
life smashed together with fantasy, like
Yeah. I feel like
yeah.
Saga kind of dethroned Fables as the first suggestion to people who don't read
Yeah.
comics. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah. Sassafras wants to know, did you guys read The Walking Dead? What'd you think of the sudden ending? Uh, and we'll avoid
I'm
spoilers for that too.
I'm pretty far behind on The Walking Dead. I think I'm trying to think of the last I read was a couple years back, so I'm way behind. But I really enjoyed it. I just kind of fell out of the habit of reading it. The
All right.
last I'm trying to figure out. I think volume 13 might have been the last I read. So Jesus, there are 32 volumes.
Jesus Christ. So this is why I haven't read past volume like 2 of Walking
Yeah.
Dead. Um but I read the last issue. I bought the last issue and I was like, this counts as reading it. Um yeah, no, I have a very snooty relationship with Robert Kirkman stuff just because there is that he likes doing it's a very saga-esque thing, but he where I only read a little bit of Walking Dead, but I read a ton of Invincible, his superhero book, and I just got to this point where I was reading his epilogues in the back and stuff, and or the afterwards, and he was just saying like, yeah, this is I'm making this book because I want it to go on forever, and I'm just like, I can't read it forever. Like it's one
Forever.
of those
Yeah.
things where for me it just starts to lose a lot of its impact or meaning, if it just feels like it will never ever end. And it's like you're making that lifelong commitment to it,
What's
which both of those books have now ended, ironically. But it's just one of those things. Same with the TV show, where it's just that's just not for me something that just goes on forever. And at least Saga, like Brian K. Vaughan has referenced multiple times, that has there's an ending in sight for it, and he's had this
what
plotted out since the beginning.
what's what's your ideal length of a comic? Like how many issues do you think it should
Oh
run?
man, I mean, I'm honestly just a massive fan of like those classic, like 12 issue, like just make a
Yeah.
nice solid book. It depends on
Yeah.
the story, because I feel like that's a perfect, like that feels about film length to me. That feels like a good like 3 act sort of structure. But like those classic like Batman Year One and Watchmen and stuff like that. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Watchmen's a
yeah.
bit
Yeah.
meaty. Uh, but also like if it is a good enough story, then I am happy if it goes on forever. Like I love that I have 2,000 pages of Sandman to go back to whenever I want to just disappear into that world as long
I
as
mean,
I
I think
want.
I think it depends too, because I think the thing with Sandman is like it's not really like a story with
Right.
forward progress that
Mhm.
much. It's more just kind of stewing in this weird world and telling short stories and learning about these characters. And there's definitely some character growth and stuff like that, but that's almost just like a byproduct of if you have so many issues, you're gonna have some character growth. It's not like it's like a character growth driven story.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Uh yeah, it's like Saga's honestly a rarity for me in that I it's this long and I love it. Uh
Yeah.
but also, and yeah, I feel like, yeah, it just depends on how good the story is and what propels the story. Like I have trouble hanging on to that Dragon Ball Z kind of structure of like, okay, they beat the big bad, so now there's a bigger bad who's even more dangerous than the previous one, and it's that same sort of recurring
and
formula.
and their power levels keep scaling up and up and up to
Yeah,
absurd amounts.
where it's like at the end of season 1 they were the most powerful person ever seen, and then it's like that's fucking nothing like 2
Yeah.
books later. uh but Saga is very much feels like just this journey, and it's not about one upping itself, and it's just about being the best it can be at all times. I still don't
Yeah.
understand. The further we get into it, I feel like that's where we're gonna get in because we're seeing what makes it so good like immediately. But I'm excited to see how it pulls off that just like it's staying consistently good, which is something that I tried the best I could to figure out in my Saga video. And I think I have a good sort of skeleton of an idea of what's going on here, but yeah, it's cool. Uh, oh, here we go. Here's the question. Krista Stevens, if Saga were to ever be a live action show, who would be your dream cast? Let's keep it to the big four, I guess, unless there's someone else that you want to throw out there. But Marco, Alana, Prince Robot, and The Will, who we cast in.
Um. Oh God. This is the thing. I'm terrible at these fan casts because, like, they're so ingrained in me as who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just. I mean, one that I think we talked about on the comics that I liked as the voice of Prince Robot is Paul Bettany.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he can be like kind of very like aristocratic, but also kind of he can be creepy and angry and but also very like kind of in control, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
think Paul Bettany would be really good. Um
Oh, did you
oh
see that someone tweeted at us suggesting Adam Driver, which I think is interesting.
oh yeah.
That's just one of those
Yeah.
people where it's just like cast him as anything, and I want to see what he does with it. At least I don't know if it's gonna work, but I want to see what happens with that.
Also, I was just thinking of the scene with D. Oswald Heist and Prince Robot, and I thought uh Jeffrey Wright, the guy who plays
Yes,
Bernard
yes,
in Westworld
absolutely.
as Oswald Heist.
I've been such a big Jeffrey Wright fan for so long, uh, and I'm pumped that people are actually he. There's rumors that he's gonna be Commissioner Gordon in the Batman, which
Yeah,
is
that's
rad.
what I heard. That's actually I think that's why he was in my mind because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But he would be I think he would make a great D. Oswald Heist because he can kind of play both
Yeah. Oh
sides where
yeah.
he can play the like calm and pensive, but he can
Yeah.
also play
Oh, he'd
like
be perfect.
quiet badass.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, so I'm trying to think back on who I've had in my mind for casting. Honestly, I think Alana's tricky because the person I have in mind, I feel like is a bit too old for the role, but also I don't especially care. But I feel like Rosario Dawson, in terms of personality, would nail it. Uh, I'm not sure who else you really need that
I
like gives no fucks person.
I think it's also I think and I think this is kind of intentional too because I think it's really difficult to cast Marco and Alana especially because they are kind of explicitly created to be kind of like ethnically ambiguous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think it feels there's certain things where it feels weird casting people. They just I don't know. Marco and Alana are just Marco and Alana. This is why I don't want to see it
Right.
adapted. I could do anyone else you can fan cast and I'm all right with, but I have never ran into one fan casting of Marco and Alana that I am comfortable with, you know, that I feel like oh, they could pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's weird. I really liked. I'm not gonna remember his name, but the main guy in Crazy Rich Asians, I think visually would totally pull off. Because I feel like I've heard Steven Yeun a lot, but I feel like you really got to go hunky with with Marco.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't. Here, what about the Will? Because Will can be sort of anyone. I'm gonna say Harrison Ford. So,
Yeah, oh, I had someone actually that I was actually know who I want as the will.
hmm.
Uh Not Harrison Ford 2.0, Oscar Isaac.
Hell yeah, Oscar Isaac for anything. Oscar Isaac as Marco. Oscar Isaac as the Will. Have him Eddie Murphy this movie and just play all the characters. I mean, Oscar Isaac, I would even totally love as Prince Robot. Honestly,
Or as Alana.
uh, yeah, perfect. Now we're getting into all my kinks. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, I'm digging it. There's yeah, cast whoever. but also don't cast anyone and just don't do it. Uh, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen, isn't it? It's gonna happen. Do you
No,
think there's
no,
gonna be a
don't let it
saga?
happen.
We
Well, they've
get
said they don't want to do one, and also, like Brian K. Vaughan's work is notoriously difficult to adapt. I mean, why the Last Man has been in and out of production for a
yeah, they
decade,
just got a
right?
new showrunner for that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also they got a new showrunner, and Paper Girls is getting adapted, so
Yeah, and
maybe.
I will say to remind everyone, there was a time when it was DJ Caruso, which no, the Eagle Eye director, uh, and like the last
Oh my
Triple
god,
X
I
movie.
forgot that Eagle Eye existed.
Yeah, rightfully so. Not a great director was on board to do Y the Last Man, but he had his person that was does everything with him, which I think is amazing casting for Yorick, and I'm so sad to not see it. But Shia LaBeouf was gonna be Yorick in Y the Last
Oh my
Man,
god, yeah.
and I
Yeah.
would have loved to see that. But bad director, don't do it.
Yeah.
And the current casting is solid. The kid from The Stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I did actually, because I read up all the uh what do you call it? The letters pages at the end of every arc. And uh and Brian K. Vaughan referenced whether or not they would ever adapt it. And he mentioned, like, he accounted for there being the possibility of just that money amount that no one can say no to, and didn't
Yeah.
totally discount it, because it's like, if
I
someone's
mean,
willing to pay enough.
I legitimately think if it was adapted well, it would be the next Game of Thrones. Like I think it would be
Yeah,
a cultural phenomenon.
yeah,
Um but I also think that that's reliant on a fundamentally flawed premise, which is if it was adapted well, and I don't think you can adapt Saga well.
yeah. Well, here I just had an amazing thought, and I'm screw all your questions. Here's my question to you, Noah. What if,
Yeah.
instead of just an adaptation, we did, which is something that I'm so on board for, I'm so excited for, the upcoming Watchmen TV show that is
Oh
part
yeah. Yeah,
sequel.
I was excited for that, but I'm pretty scared now because did you hear the latest with it?
What?
How the showrunners said that they tried not to make the show political.
Well, that's odd. That's also fucking weird coming from, what's his name? I always forget his fucking name in this podcast, but he is like the most analogous to Brian K. Vaughan that there is. He did Leftovers, but I love that writer so much. And here's the thing: is that I can see him.
Watchmen is political.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, is I can see him trying to be like, because Watchmen does have, like, the book has a timeless message, and that is something that adds so much to it,
Yes,
and
the
that's what's given it
timeless
so much
message of
legs.
Richard Nixon is evil.
No, but I love just the moral thing of, like, the quote unquote greater good, and just the whole concept of Ozymandias's plan and everything.
Yeah.
I think that is something that, like, it doesn't it's one of those great comics that just asks the question and doesn't necessarily have an answer to it, and I think that's been the fall of every sort of sequel comic that's come after it, is like, they've if you read the
Wait,
DC
can we just
follow-ups.
interrupt this thought
Mhm.
to the latest comment? Adam Groves, Danny DeVito as Fard is the best casting I've ever heard.
Yep. Yep.
But
And
anyways,
literally no CGI. Just like have them like just
just like
bigger on the
how
screen.
they did Lord of the
Yep.
Rings,
Yeah.
like trick shots, forced
I'm
perspective.
thinking of, I was gonna make a Lost in La Mancha reference, so thank you for doing Lord of the Rings. I love the forced perspective of him standing in the foreground, uh, topless. I feel like you could just take footage of him from Always Sunny and add it to a movie. You'd already have all the lines for Fard and all of
Oh
the
my god,
all the
it would
topless
be
scenes. Oh yeah,
I
this is okay. Go ahead. This is a good pick.
I just want to see. I just want to see Frank Reynolds as. That's all I want to see. Not even just Danny DeVito. But
uh,
anyways, you were making a really thoughtful statement about Watchmen.
no, it's just I can see like I mean I can see that being taken out of like I don't know the context of did you happen to see like the whole interview or anything like that with what's his face for Watchmen? Because I
No,
can
I'm not
see
even
him.
sure. I'm not even sure he said it. I just saw it on Twitter going
Mm,
around.
yeah, I mean people that's it's one of those shows that people are so ready to hate. So I can see it
Oh
being like a
yeah.
thing where things will be taken out of context. But I can totally see them just wanting to do more of a like not timely to Trump specifically kind of thing. But
Mhm.
also I'm still worried because like they're clearly just from the teaser I've seen, they're clearly going very like police force heavy with it and trying to make like the police superheroes and stuff like that and like it's super relevant stuff. So I'm
There's
interested to see what's going on
there's
with that.
also whenever people talk about not political and stuff like this,
Yeah.
there's actually a great tweet by Sarah Zed, or as you would
Mhm.
call her, Sarah Z.
Yes, please.
Um, but she's a phenomenal video essayist. But she said, what is and what people consider to be political, like what isn't political, is itself a political like topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Like basically, like you can't say something's not political
Yeah.
because your evaluation of whether something is political or not is in and of itself political.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've noticed a lot more recently. Uh, you look at people who make that argument where it's like I don't want to see politics, especially in comics and like like GamerGate stuff and the ComicsGate stuff, where it's like I don't want to see politics in my stuff, and it's always one of those things where it's just like you the response is always just ask what the hell isn't political. Like name one
Yeah,
thing that's not political cuz you can't because in some capacity everything falls under that. It also it reminds me of those people who are like, "Oh, something can be objectively bad." And I've noticed like the thing that shuts people up every time is just be like, "Okay, name an objectively good thing." And if you have those
yeah,
crazy standards like it is impossible to like because it that just doesn't exist.
yeah.
And so yeah I think that that's just a dumb thing to say. Everything's political. um but then we get into political like what's your definition of political and all that. Not
Well,
I'm getting
there's
too close to
also
my bullshit philosophy degree stuff here and I hate it.
someone also once I forget who said it, but someone said like what people consider to be political, or people never say stop getting political when you're getting political about the things that they agree with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like le- like no one's ever like, "Oh no, I agree with what you're saying, but let's not bring politics into this."
Yeah, and also it's so much about power where it's just like if you have a straight couple in a movie, then it's fine, and if you have a gay couple in a movie, it's political. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's always such a
Yeah.
loaded bullshit thing. And it's just like, oh, don't talk about the thing. It comes from such a place of privilege and you know that's whatever. But you know what? I'm gonna disrupt this riveting take of ours to say that Krista Stevens has the ultimate casting here, and it is Tessa Thompson as Alana, and that
Oh,
is
that's pretty good.
correct. That's correct, right there.
That's pretty good.
Uh, yeah, and you know, and do we? Yeah, man, I still don't know who I would want as the Will, but but Oscar Isaac is fantastic, fantastic choice. Uh, Comicsgate annoys me. We've really gone. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Venchar says Comicsgate especially annoys me because comics have always been political. Yeah, especially like the
Oh my
complaints
god,
against
yeah.
Marvel when we have Captain America punching Hitler
Yeah.
before we entered the war. Like,
I've gotten people complain to me whenever I do videos that are political, be like, "Can't you just focus on the music, not the politics?" And I'm like, "What the fuck world do you live in where music is not intrinsically tied to politics and hasn't historically been intrinsically tied to politics, especially the genre that's my specialty, which is dad rock."
Right. Oh my gosh. That is one thing that, like, the fact that, like, I love that you get these comments on, like, the Nirvana video and stuff.
Oh my god.
But then it's like you talk about Bob Dylan and everyone's cool with it. The most political
Yeah.
human being
Yeah.
to have ever lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, it's just I will say anyone saying saying they want to avoid getting political and stuff, just consider where you're coming from because so much of that just ultimately boils down to your perspective and your what you don't have, what you have the pleasure of not thinking about on a daily basis, because I feel like it's largely like, oh, let's just not talk about the things I don't want to have to think about because it's depressing and real. Uh
Yeah.
even though the things you're used to for someone else is depressing and real and political. So uh oh, here we go. This is a good transition. Ben Spencer asks, let's get political. Who's in the right, the horns or the wings? And this brings up something interesting because I don't know what this war is over. Like,
Um
clearly, what, land? Who has rights to what?
there's there's a
I'm.
quote
Mm-hmm.
that used to play on the loading screen of Call of Duty 2
Mm-hmm.
that said, "War doesn't determine who's right, only who's left."
Mm. That was an original from Carl
No, no,
Duty himself.
Bertrand Russell said it.
Okay.
But I learned it playing I learned it at many a Call of Duty 2 LAN party when I was in grade. And I think this is kind of the point is that neither is right, and what's right is um pacifism.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially like I love that it's sort of like we see so much sort of uh spin from both sides, and we see how, like, the fact that we get both Special Agent Gale and the unicorn horn lady in the first issue, and get those forces of
Yeah.
like the people pulling the strings on both sides, and don't like either of them and see that they're both full of shit, I think says a lot about the series already. But yeah, I think we mentioned before, like, that the whole sort of mustard gas scene at the beginning
Yeah.
of the last issue that we read,
I
coming
I
from the horns, was such a big deal.
I think this is the thing. I think people, and in the comments it's kind of happening right now. I think people are kind of inclined to maybe believe the horns are more right. But yeah, like you said, we just saw the horns use uh violate violate an international or interplanetary treaty and use poisonous gas that makes people explode.
Hmm.
So if that's the side that's right, I don't really want to be on that side.
Right. Yeah. And we're getting some speculation from Ben Spencer and Matt Higgins here, which, yeah, I definitely appreciate. Like Matt Higgins said, Ben Spencer says that I bet the Wings went over to mine the moon and it all started the fuck fest. And Matt Higgins says that was my thought. The Wings seem
No,
more implied
the fuck fest is
imperialist. Yeah,
sextillion.
yeah,
The fuck
yeah.
fest is sextillion.
But yeah, I do, like, yeah, I have no doubt that this originated with an imperialist sort of takeover. It's probably of the moon because it's smaller. Uh, but also I think a lot of, the essence of the story is like it gets to that point where it doesn't really matter anymore because both
Yeah.
people have fucked things up so thoroughly and have done such awful things that it's nothing, none of it's justified at this point.
Well, and I think this is the thing, to not to call you out, Ben Spencer, but if TV people came running at me, I'd throw blow up gas too. I think that that's kind of missing the radical pacifistic point of the classic. What award did it win? Uh,
Oh, the Lopper.
yes, the classical Lopper Award-winning novel, A Nighttime Smoke.
Lopper nominated author.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, and
Yeah, I think it's interesting too because I think it speaks to like humans we kind of gravitate towards binaries because they're easy and we kind of want to
Mhm.
believe we want to pick a side in a conflict, but I think uh as Saga goes on and as we read more and more like one of the points of Saga is that there is nobody that's right in this conflict, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things that like, even if there was someone, how is any of this worth this? Like,
Yeah.
especially this
Yeah.
far into it. Like, yeah, it's very much if there's a theme to if there's a uh some kind of message to Saga so far that we have
Well,
seen, it's very war oriented.
and then there's even the thing where like you talk about like what I was tempted to say was who's right is the people on Sextillion because they're ignoring all that and having a good time, but no, they're also selling
Yeah,
child
yeah,
slaves
yeah.
into sex. So I think the general takeaway is that the universe is a fucked up and terrible place.
Yep. Matt Higgins settled the debate with the war is over Sextillion. Uh, here we got another question from
uh,
Gavin Lowndes. Uh, own any Saga artwork or signed work?
yes,
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 you do, Noah.
I own a bunch of Saga stuff. So I own the Goose plush. I own a 18-inch print of the issue that we just decided was the best, which is which issue is it?
Cover, yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
number 8. Sounds correct to me. Issue
Yeah,
8.
yeah, it is issue 8. Just googled it. Yeah, so the cover of issue 8 without the like just the art without the titles, I own a print of that I don't have up because we've had it for a while and can't find a fucking frame that fits it and
Mm-hmm.
don't want to pay like $150 to dry mount it because dry mounting is expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Um but then I also have 2 issues signed by Fiona Staples, that I got from my sister, which is really cool because she used to work at a comic shop, when Saga was first coming out.
Yeah, that's I'm so happy for you, Noah. I don't get
Also
jealous of many things, but this is I feel like people always assume that I have like money. I guess like because it's one of those things, like I one of my most popular videos is on Hamilton, and I am still years later too broke to ever have seen Hamilton, uh
I
and
mean, you if you had the money, you'd see Hades Town.
uh so that's the end of our live stream. Don't no one bring this up. Uh yeah, okay, and then Noah's gotten into what what I was about to rant about, which is Lance Corporal McHenry is clearly the cause of the war. I wouldn't be surprised if Lance Corporal McHenry is some kind of eternal being, or at the very least a Benjamin Button type. Then I wouldn't be surprised that she's behind all of this. But yeah, I have the Saga stuff. I have the first 3 trades and then my single issues, and I think that is it for Saga stuff, and it kills me. I've only ever really splurged on stuff like that because I love buying equipment to make work a bit easier. Like I go all out when it comes to like desk stuff and things I use regularly. The one thing I splurged on, and that was because it was a tax write-off, was for my last Jedi video. I picked up the $100 uh book at the end of that. Uh
I I actually my Saga merchandise, both the plush and the poster were gifts to my fiance, because she also loves Saga. And the comics I got for free from my sister.
Yeah, see, that's what's up. See, having friends and loved ones is the secret here that I need to get in on at some point.
And and Megan asked where I got the print from. I can't remember. Let me see if I can dig it up in my email, but I don't remember where I got it. There's
I
a lot of
saw.
there's a lot of stuff on the Saga shop though. There's lots of good merch on the Saga shop if you're looking to find another way to support Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples because they deserve it because they work very hard and they make our life better.
Agreed. They're the best. Uh, let's see. Lily Stark says, I love a good sci-fi comic that allows you to formulate your own views in an unbiased way. It's nice to be able to see others struggling with society that is not our own. Yeah, that is such a. I feel like that is the thing that really that I love about really good sci-fi is that you can take something to a logical extreme. Like I love that this is just a galactic war that just affects nearly everything. Uh, but uh, hold on, Haley's messaging me. But yeah, I think that is such a good attribute of science fiction is that it can be removed. You can be removed enough from it that you can look at it more objectively, but it is somehow even truer to whatever it's talking about because it can go to that extreme version of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's why sci-fi is my favorite thing to read because of the way that it's able to reflect reality through fantasy.
Yeah, for sure. And also, yeah, we're getting everyone's bragging about their rad stuff that they got.
Oh, nice.
Adam Grove's sister bought him all three of the hardbacks, which is rad. I
Oh,
would love to get
nice.
that. I think I am gonna get the compendium is the big new one. I might pick that up at some point, even just for I don't
Hey,
even know,
that's
just
a
for
taxable
rereading.
write-off. That's
Exactly,
a taxable
exactly.
write-off.
And then yeah, Megan says that she wants all the pins from the Saga shop, which they're so rad. And Lily Stark has the shirt that which I am dying for. It's the shirt that says "high as fuck" on it, and it
Oh,
is
I actually
no.
also got I got Emma the tank that's just like the Saga typeface.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Goose shirt. I want the Goose shirt. I love Goose.
Oh, here's a question. Oh my gosh, hold on here. I'm
What?
seeing in the I just noticed in the chat, Polyphonic verified. Did they? Oh yeah, because they undid all that nonsense, or they're talking about like
Yes. Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
there.
Oh, did you hear about the fallout that happened in the Undoing? Allow me to hijack this to talk about how useless YouTube is right now. Um so have you ever heard of a YouTuber called CGP Grey?
Yes. But
So
for
in
anyone who's not in the know, because I guess this is
anyone who's
also a
not in the
live
know,
stream.
CGP Grey is a huge YouTuber. He's an educational YouTuber. He has almost 4 million videos. He was one of the original people to do like stick person explainer videos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, he's almost at 4 million subscribers. So, in the process of undoing their verification clusterfuck, YouTube decided that CGP Grey was an imposter of CGP Grey, and so they suspended his account.
Oh boy, it is
Yep.
my favorite thing to come out of all this though is the fact that YouTube unverified itself. Its own
Yeah.
YouTube channel became unverified,
It's
which is the most YouTube ass thing. Anyone not in the know, I hate YouTube so much. The thing that we are on right now, ironically, that is why I don't like supporting them monetarily. You don't see ads on Make Stuff videos. It's just a whole thing. They're the worst. Uh, but yeah, this is, you know what, this is a, oh, by the way, I want to go back to this now that we're a little bit caught up
Yeah.
with the chat. So what would you think of like not a direct uh going the Watchmen TV show route, where it's
Oh,
like
doing yeah.
it's not a direct adaptation, but it takes place in this universe and it does not erase the existence. Like, let's say it's either it has happened or it will happen, the storyline of Saga, or it is happening somewhere else. And maybe it's overlapping at points or whatever. But the idea of centering on, it's kind of hard to imagine Saga being about. It's weird because it's hard to imagine Saga being about anyone but Alana, Marco, and Hazel. But also, we totally get plenty of issues that are not about them, and they're still fantastic. So, would we want that
I
Star
think
Wars expanded universe for a Saga thing?
I would like that, but my worry with that is that you would end up with a situation where you're following a character on one of the sides or the other, and you empathize more with that side, and it becomes a good versus evil kind of thing, which is
Mm-hmm.
very much what Saga isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did that, I would want it to be something like, I mean, I would watch like Saga as Game of Thrones, like a vast political drama
Yeah.
happening in this universe. Or Ben Spencer just said a side series about more of the freelancers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be
Yeah.
about that too. Um,
I
but
would
yeah,
I
I
would love for them to actually do what I wanted Game of Thrones to do, which was like say how to stop wars or power, like have anything to say about actually ending power conflicts would be nice personally.
yeah. I mean, the thing is that if we knew how to do that, um,
I
we
mean
might not.
that's the point of art, is to hypothesize about this stuff. That's the point of, I mean, again, what we were talking about with sci-fi. But just or even, and I'm not saying like come up with a solution, but just have anything to say about it whatsoever, opposed to
Oh
the
yeah,
end of Game of
yeah.
Thrones. Personally, that's just my opinion.
Well,
I don't like to get
I mean,
too negative on stuff.
comparing things to the end of Game of Thrones is, I'm like, you're not gonna it's not gonna end well for you.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. Is there a character in this hypothetical spin-off thing? Is there like a side character or something that you would love to see a series about?
Um, I mean, we haven't interacted him, but if with him yet, and it would be difficult because he's so tied to the main plot.
Mhm.
Um, but if you were gonna do something with the main plot and you needed to choose a perspective character, I actually think a really, really interesting perspective would be Dingo.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew you were going to say that cuz it's a good choice. Uh Sassafras says dildo dragon main character in show. Yes. Uh
Can we just actually I've got the Saga adaptation. I figured it out.
uh-huh.
It's just a porno set on Sextillion.
Here, this is what we're doing, the with the fucking T-Rex dildo thing. We're doing the Rosencrantz Guildenstern.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
one character
That's
for one panel. Oh, I would be so down for that.
and
But
it
yeah,
is
I would
going
love
to
to see
it is
something
going
that sort
to
of intersects.
invent new fetishes.
Oh, just a cold open of Chris Steven says, so basically an HBO show. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, I think honestly, yeah, do not directly adapt Saga. I would be much more down for, and I would honestly probably be excited if they did like a spin-off series, Watchmen style, where it's just like it doesn't erase anything that happens. It's not a reboot. It is just some sort of distant story in this massive, amazing world. And also, just let's do Fard. How Fard got off the planet. Make it Fard, the Fard story.
Fard.
Um,
I mean, Fard also had a life before that planet, so it could be a Fard origin story.
please do. Uh,
I want to see a young Fard growing up, getting teased for having the biggest balls of them all.
or the smallest. Uh, Ben Spencer says, it seems to me Hazel's narration is her writing a book. What would she be naming this book? a daytime
Mm,
smoke. Saga. Name it Saga. Name it There and Back
yeah.
Again.
Um, it takes a universe.
The Will and
Who would think
Lying
of that as a
Cast.
name for something?
Wings and Horns. Oh, we should one of these days. I'm gonna track down my thing of all my dumb. I'll post that in the Discord. Join the Discord if you want to see my once I track down all my podcast title ideas I had written down.
I'm gonna scroll through and see if I can find it now in our Twitter history.
Oh
Oh
well,
God, we have a long Twitter history.
I gave you like 3. I think I just gave you 3 of mine, and there were so many of them. That was the biggest challenge of this starting this thing was coming up with could
Oh,
not come up with a title.
here's some. The 3 I like so far. We said It Takes a Galaxy, The Will and Lying Cast,
That's the best.
Continuing Saga.
I like that one still.
I liked Fade Away, but it's a bit of a dense reference. Here's my rapid fire. High as Fuck, A Nighttime Pod, The Sweet Boys.
all great names for Hazel's book. Here we go. So yeah, I'll try to track that down. We'll post all of our things onto the Discord because that's fun to
We're
laugh
actually
at.
Also, I'm looking at these. We were brainstorming names in November 2018. So this has been in the works for a while.
God, we are probably a year into since we had the idea for this.
Yeah, I'm trying
but
to
also we've been doing it for a while too. Like, yeah,
I guess we have.
Time flies. 2 arcs down out of how many arcs are there so far? Like 8 or something out? I don't know.
9.
There's 9 out?
Right? Wait, are there? Oh,
I have no idea. They'll let us know in the chat.
Hey, yeah,
there's
there's 9.
Do you have thoughts on
9
the
times
Wicked
6
in the
is
Divine?
54. It's not that hard.
I don't. You know what? Hold on. This is coming from the guy who said like. I'm pretty sure you said that 99 was a multiple of 6.
Hey,
on the podcast.
Now.
It's not that hard.
Hey. Hey.
Do you have thoughts on Wicked and the Divine? Because I have thoughts on the Wicked and the Divine.
Wicked and the Divine?
It's an image book.
I haven't read it, so I don't really have thoughts other than it looks good.
It is good. I'm gonna say I am holding out for the last trade to come out to finish it because it's one of those books where it's just like, well, I couldn't find one issue of it, so it screwed up my whole collection, and then I just gave up and switched to trades again. So I have like the first trade of it, then a bunch of issues, and then 2 trades of it. It's infuriating. But
wait, it's influenced by pop music?
Dude, oh yeah, now that I think of it, how the fuck have you not read Wicked and Divine? It's literally musicians are gods.
I don't know. I also haven't read Phonogram, so
yeah, I mean, Wicked and Divine is like a much more accessible phonogram, but I will say, especially going back through Saga, it is my issue with Wicked and Divine is that it is incredibly hard to read sometimes. It's incredibly hard to follow what's going on, especially if you're reading it monthly and going through like the breaks, and they, instead of taking breaks like Saga does, they just fill it with a lot of sort of side stories from other artists, and it gets in like flashback stories, and it's cool to fill out the universe, but like there was one of them where I fell off for a while. There's one of them that's literally just like a book. It's like they printed like it was just prose with some illustrations in it as one of the things, and I was just like, I'm buying a comic to. I was the snootiest thing I could do. I'm like, I'm buying a comic to read a comic, not a book. And then I just like didn't read it for a very long time. And I think I actually just skipped that one because it was like a sort of filler one. But they are doing a lot of fun stuff, and it's great. And
if you want to read a comic that's also a book that you actually like want to read a comic that's actually a book, you guys should read AD After Death by Scott Snyder with art by Jeff Lemire.
That's a thing.
It's phenomenal book.
I will say,
and really like cool mixed medium stuff.
Fun fact that screwed up. That came out while I was pitching to an editor, a comics editor, and that botched my. I had a pitch that was going like really well, and it was about the Fountain of Youth and
Ah,
immortality, and then that came out, and they're like, "Well, you're not going to compete with fucking Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire, so sorry."
I I should actually this is a good place to share. So me and a buddy, who is a good friend and a great artist, we worked on a comic for a while. I actually maybe I should have maybe I should have him on the podcast. I mean, he's not really um like super active online or anything, but he's a good dude. Uh, so we wrote a comic, or we worked on a comic. I wrote the first issue when we like came up with the first arc and stuff like that. That is kind of saga esque, where it is the premise was it was a space opera about a bunch of space bootleggers who steal who steal alcohol from a giant nebula made out of alcohol that's owned by a evil corporation. Um, yeah, so that
That's
that was the
fantastic.
premise of my saga-esque comic.
I'll read it. Which actually, that just reminded me of. Uh,
Oh, and their spaceship was called the Handsome, and the comic was called
oh, you cut out there. What was the comic called?
the Handsome.
Nice, I like it. Uh, yeah, actually, we were talking suggestions in the Discord the other day, and someone suggested Moonshine, which is the greatest title you can give a book just ever because it's about werewolves in Prohibition era, and
Yep,
it's called
that's
Moonshine,
amazing.
and it's the fucking best. Like it, like I think I read it. I read the first issue, and I was like, this is pretty good, but also this is called Moonshine, and it's about werewolves in the Prohibition era, so it's the best book. So I'm gonna go ahead and
That's
suggest that, just purely
that
based
sounds
on how good
amazing.
how perfect the name is. Uh, what else do we got? Oh, I will say, uh, there's a lot of people suggesting like prequel series, and even like how the show or how the war started, or talking about
I I wouldn't
Marco's
want to see how
appearance.
the war started because I think part of the point
Yeah,
of saga is just that the war is eternal and never ending.
yeah, yeah. And I also I just have a major issue with prequels because you immediately destroy so many stakes that you have, like even with like I Black Widow is one of my favorite characters ever. Especially go read the Mark Waid, Chris Samnee run of Black Widow. It's the best #1 for a comic, even better than Saga. I'd say it's so good. But the first issue at least, not the rest of it for sure. But like I cannot get hyped about a Black Widow series just because it's like I know how this ends. Same with like all the Star Wars, the ones that they announced, like the Obi-Wan one. It's just like, yeah, I'll watch Obi-Wan do stuff all day, like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan all
Yeah,
fucking day. But like I sincerely I think Solo. I love Solo. I'm one of the people that love Solo, and it is purely I feel like, and also it's the perfect argument for why just don't do prequels anymore. Like we don't need it because it's just like that it works great because it is such pure fan service and such pure entertainment. Uh but like in terms of necessity, like
I
if a story's good, you don't, and especially Saga, then you don't need a prequel. Like, and yeah, I think that's what's like the Star Wars prequels were clearly baked into it, where those were an integral part of the story, like episodes 1 through 3. And I think those are a bit of an exception. But even then, also a bit of an
yeah,
argument against it. Uh,
I can only really think of I mean, like the only prequel in any medium that I can think of that really actually added like that much that was really necessary to the story was Sandman Overture actually did it really well.
Yeah,
Sandman
yeah.
Overture was a phenomenal prequel, but
Mhm.
and I guess
Yeah, I
Godfather
mean,
Part 2,
I mean,
but
so much half of Sandman was a prequel to itself, also with the
yeah,
how
yeah.
nonlinear it is. Uh, but yeah, I
Well,
think
and
that
this is it. I think you can kind of like Sandman plays by different rules because of that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, like, and I'm just I'm in I will constantly argue do spin-offs. I love expanding the world in that way, but don't do a prequel because then you're getting rid of so many of the stakes of it and you're just like I
Here's
don't care if this character's not going to die,
well,
so whatever.
here's my biggest issue with prequels, and this was my issue with Solo too. I enjoyed Solo, but the thing is, in a story, your main characters, you generally speaking, enter the story at the beginning of their arc,
Yep.
right? Like you enter the story with them being who they are,
Mhm.
and we're entering at an interesting part in their life and an interesting part in their career or whatever, because we're entering at the point where their life is about to change and they're about to
Yeah.
change for the better. Like
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the hero's journey, right? So to take this person, this is my issue with Solo, is like they basically like rehashed Han Solo's arc in the prequel, and when taken as a whole, that devalues Han Solo's arc, because what
Mhm.
the end of Solo says is, well, Han Solo was a good guy all along.
Mhm.
And I think if we did something that was like a saga prequel about the start of the war or something, the message suddenly becomes, oh well, the start of the war was like really preventable, we could have done this, or I don't know, you just lose something from, like, I love the setting of Saga in just a galaxy that is in eternal war right
Yeah.
now, right? And how it started was probably something arbitrary and dumb, but I don't want to go back and see that. We're starting the galaxy at an interesting point in its history and in its
Yeah.
arc.
Yeah, and also issue 1 you get Hazel saying that she's not some significant player in this, like, in the
Yeah.
war, and that it is like that is the that is the you know, the background to all of this. And
Yeah.
it is not the main character. And while it has some amazing things to say about war and or a lack of it, I do think that it's just we don't, especially I just don't like prequels. It's so
Yeah.
hard for me to like a prequel. It always just feels like, well, there goes my so much of a story, especially Saga, is being like, oh god, what's going to happen next? And it's like
Yeah.
you go into a prequel knowing virtually everything that's going to happen next, at least the significant stuff. And so that's what, like I said, I think Solo works in the sense that, like, fucking Temple of Doom is technically a prequel to Raiders.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
but it works because it's not trying to explain, like, the things that work about it isn't the fleshing out the world or the character or anything. It's just
But
taking this consistent character, and but that's the thing, yeah, like you said
but I
with
think
Solo, is they
I
try
think
to
the
add
thing I
work to that.
I think the thing I don't like about Solo is similar, and this is what I worry about. Like, this is what I worry about with like Goose and Friendo. If you did a
Hmm.
like saga prequel or something about Goose, I don't want to know how Goose met Friendo.
Hmm.
I don't want to know how Oswald Heist came to the lighthouse. I'm just looking at that because that's what's on the screen right
Right,
now.
right.
But like, these things exist as they exist,
Hmm.
and I didn't need to see, oh, Han Solo's blaster has a crazy story behind it, or I didn't need to see like, even like Han and Chewie meeting was good, but like I didn't
Hmm.
need to see that. You show them, you tell us they're best friends, you show us they're best friends, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
Like what I always talk about is implied world building, and prequels strip away implied world building so much.
Yeah.
It's way cooler when Obi-Wan says, "I fought alongside your father in the Clone," and
Hmm.
you have no idea what the Clone Wars are, and your imagination runs wild.
Yeah, I think that, and that's why that's honestly the reason that I'm just like, I'm so lukewarm on Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan thing, because it's like we know exactly where he's gonna be, we know exactly where he was. It's literally just gonna be filler, and that is why like I love. I mean, that's why I was the one I was okay with was Boba Fett, as long as they didn't make it an origin story. I mean, Boba Fett already got an origin story in episode
Yeah,
two,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
but like, but literally just do do a short, like make it a short contained story. That's what I would love
yeah.
in those,
Boba
and that's
Fett
what. Yeah.
and Boba Fett makes sense, which is why I think if you were gonna spin off Saga, I would not want it to be the Will.
Yeah.
But like
I,
a freelancer story makes sense
yeah. Yeah.
because you get to explore this world more, and like there's kind of a built-in plot, like like arc to arc, episode to episode, or season to season, or whatever.
Hmm.
That built-in plot is, this is the target that I need to kill now. What
Yep.
are the trials and tribulations of this, and how does that change me as a person? Right? Like I think that that's very built in, and that's why like I think the Mandalorian could be cool because of that.
Hmm.
And I think that that's something that I don't know. I agree with you. I can't do prequels.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Going through Saga now, uh, I'm gonna say, you know what? Give me the someone you can give me the story of. Give me the story of Special Agent Gale while all this is happening, and show me all the stuff he's
Yeah,
doing in between. I'm down for that. Like something like that. That level of
as
interconnectedness.
long as he's played by Adam Scott.
Yes, yes, please. And then like literally take whatever take whatever uh man. Let me see. I'm trying to find any freelancer who's just named in passing. Oh, here, the Import and the Fluke are two of the people named in issue 2. Give me a story about them. Like give me
Yeah,
someone who's just so barely related. I really want that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern effect
yeah.
on this. That's and you know, and none
But
of this will
I
happen. They're
think
just
this
gonna
is
adapt it. But
this is what also worries me too, though, is the like which prequels like incessantly do, the wink and nod to, oh, this is gonna be important, this is
hmm,
gonna factor in somewhere.
yeah.
Notice this blaster he's giving him. See the blaster.
Yeah, no, it's I think that you know what, this is what I'm hoping for. I feel like this is the best case scenario at this point for an adaptation. The fact that the guy who's doing the Watchmen series is good friends with Brian K. Vaughan, and he interviewed him for the launch party of Saga, and Brian K. Vaughan was hired by him to do episodes of Lost because he was such a big fan of
Yeah,
Brian K. Vaughan. So I'm gonna look up his. It's Damon Lindelof. That's his name. I just remembered it
yeah.
as I was about to look it up. Uh, I was gonna Google Damon Lindelof to see what the name of Damon Lindelof is. But yeah, that's my best case scenario. Damon Lindelof do a connected universe, same time period, or takes place after the show, sort of thing, or after the series. Uh, and that is my best case scenario. That's all I want. And you know what? I feel like we're do you? I think we answered all the questions. I
Yeah,
think we've been
yeah.
doing
I
this for
think
nearly 2 hours now. Uh,
yeah. Michael Smith says the Fluke is so a dolphin alien. I'm ready for
I'm fucking
dolphin
down here. I'm down
saga.
for it. Or just give me like a what's the Beta Ray Bill, the horse Thor. Give me something like that. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm down for it. And hey, thank you all so much for joining the stream. I'm
yeah.
I'm I'm happy
Thanks
it
for
actually
joining.
worked. I'm happy it functioned. We lucked out
Yeah,
with that.
we could. I had a ton of fun. I'd love to do this again sometime.
Yeah. This might be
Yeah,
this will be our go-to anytime we can't make an episode for whatever reason, like that we're
yeah,
falling behind on stuff. So you also have a happy night, Lily Stark. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been
Yeah,
super
and
fun.
tune in next Tuesday for our start of Arc 3.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, here
Uh,
we get
I
it's
think.
actually funny that we just did so much prequel talk because Arc 3 we flash back for an I mean not far back.
Mhm.
Uh but we flash back from where we left off in Arc 2.
Yes, it's gonna be fun.
And we got so many things. We're gonna meet the brand, we're gonna meet Upshur and Doff. It's an exciting time.
It's great. So yeah, I'm glad we got to do
Oh,
this. I'm glad people
we're gonna
actually showed
play
up.
Nun Tuj Nun.
Oh, it's gonna be a ball. It's gonna be great. Uh, and yeah, I ended the I posted a quick little announcement podcast earlier, like early this morning, to give people the heads up that we're gonna be doing this. And I left it off a certain way there, but I will not leave it off the same way. I'm thinking just a classic send off here. Do you want to do the honors?
I think I will.
All
Thanks
right.
for joining us today. And before I go, let me just say, am I shitting?
The eternal question. Bye.